Here's a highlight from a recent episode of Booked on Rock. Bradley Morgan, the author of U2 Until the End of the World. You write, quote, Boy had been recorded in little over a month with sessions finishing in September 1980 and would be the quickest U2 would ever record an album. Reached number 52 in the UK, 63 in the US, a solid opening. They followed that with 1981's October, which has Fire and Gloria. The Edge assumed the band would work quickly to develop new ideas for songs after touring and building up confidence off of that, but that wasn't so. Making matters worse was an incident in March of 1981 involving a briefcase. What was in that briefcase and what happened to it?
Yeah, so U2 were working on a really tight deadline with touring. They weren't really making headway in the UK, so their key to success early on was trying to play these American markets. And it was really tight schedule, doing all these shows and trying to make what would become that second album, October. And so it was a time where a lot of things were just happening really fast. And during a gig in Portland, Bono had a briefcase that was stolen from the band's green room, presumably by a couple of women who came and visited during the show. And this briefcase, among other things like his work visa and letters from Allie, who was his then girlfriend and would become his future wife, this briefcase contained the lyrics and song ideas for what would become October. And naturally, this was an incredibly disruptive thing, and Bono had to rewrite a lot of that material from memory. And you can hear this on October because some of the songs sound a little unfinished and more rougher than when you listen to Boy. Go and listen to Boy and October back to back. There is a lot of thematic overlap and even a lot of sonic overlap because they had to make it very quickly and with less time to get these song ideas together. And even then, Bono wasn't much of a songwriter. He talks about songwriting as sketching, just him putting, words to music because they didn't think that lyrics were necessarily so important. And it was an experience that really left an impact on Bono. Whenever the band would play Portland, he would bring up the briefcase hoping someone would return it, which is what happened 23 years later in 2004. A woman in Tacoma, Washington named Cindy Harris, she had that briefcase in her attic, but didn't know that it was stolen. And so she had made arrangements to give it back to Bono. And there's a story of this. You can read about this in a book of edited essay collections called Exploring U2, edited by Scott Calhoun. And there actually is a story from the person who returned it telling that. It's a really interesting story.